An icon's final fade to black, Robert Redford's enduring legacy. September 16, 2025, the world has lost a titan. Robert Redford, the golden-haired icon who defined American cinema for generations, has passed away at the age of 89. While headlines will rightfully celebrate his legendary roles in films like Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid and his Oscar-winning turn as a director for ordinary people, to remember him solely as a creature of Hollywood would be to miss the point of the man entirely. Redford was not just a star within the system, he was a quiet rebel who built a new universe outside of it. His greatest legacy is not a single film, but the entire landscape of independent cinema he nurtured into existence. Redford's early career was a masterclass in navigating the machinery of fame. With his rugged good looks and an effortless charisma, he became one of the biggest box office draws of the 1970s. In films like The Way We Were and The Sting, he perfected a kind of masculine ideal that was both aspirational and approachable. He was the handsome rogue, the principled journalist, the romantic lead. Yet, beneath the surface, a deep ambivalence toward his own stardom was brewing. He famously resisted the movie star label, seeing it as a gilded cage that limited the kinds of complex, character-driven stories he wanted to tell. This very dissatisfaction became the engine of his second act. Instead of merely complaining about the studio system's obsession with blockbusters, Redford took his fame and fortune and invested it in a radical idea. In 1981, he founded the Sundance Institute in the mountains of Utah, a remote haven where filmmakers could develop their craft far from the commercial pressures of Los Angeles. It was a workshop, a retreat, and a statement of purpose. He wasn't just building a film festival, he was building an ecosystem for stories that otherwise would never be told. The Sundance Film Festival, which grew from the Institute, became the single most important launching pad for a new generation of auteurs. It was here that Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs first exploded onto the scene, where Steven Soderbergh's Sex, Lies, and Videotape redefined the possibilities of independent film, and where countless other directors like the Coen brothers and Paul Thomas Anderson found their footing. Redford created the platform that championed grit over gloss, authenticity over artifice. He used the power the old system gave him to empower its successor. His work as a director mirrored this ethos. Ordinary People, 1980, was a quiet, devastating family drama that beat out spectacle-driven films for the Best Picture Oscar. Later, with A River Runs Through It and Quiz Show, he continued to explore nuanced, quintessentially American stories with a patient, observant eye. He was a filmmaker fascinated by the quiet currents running beneath the surface of life, a theme that also defined his decades-long, passionate environmental activism. Just as he fought for the preservation of wild spaces in the American West, he fought for a protected space for authentic stories in American culture. Robert Redford's passing marks the end of an era, but his influence is indelible and everywhere. Every independent film that finds an audience, every young director who gets a shot outside the studio system, and every story that chooses quiet truth over loud spectacle, owes him a debt of gratitude. He was the Sundance Kid in more than just name, a charming outlaw who saw a better way to do things and, against all odds, built it himself. He leaves behind not just a filmography, but a thriving, independent world of his own making.